Hey everybody, welcome back to Prepper Junkie. Today we're going to go over the Elcan SpecterDR, and that stands for Dual Roll Optic Sight. Alright, this is the box it comes in. It's a little surprised it comes something a little fancier considering the price, but obviously not a problem. You can see in the box it is made in Canada for people who are going to ask that question, where is it made? Let's get that one right out the box. So inside, let's do a quick look. We have just the operator manual. And then we have the optic. Comes with a little battery tool and a CR2032, which is obviously what the optic takes. Alright, so let's put it here and put this aside for a second. Let's just take a quick look at this bad boy. This is a very well-known battle scope slash, red dot. It's been around for a long time, so this isn't as though it's a new optic or anything like that. I've just managed to get my hands on one to review for you guys. So here we are, but it is a very, very commonly used battle optic. And when I say battle optic, I do mean it's a battle optic. It comes in the same way as like an ACOG. It's a very, very proven military optic, okay? So it's built like a freaking tank. The construction, overall construction and first impressions is super nice. So let's kind of take a closer look at some of these parts. It does come with these caps here, and this the objective lens is a 32mm lens, so you do get a large field of view when you're looking through this on 1x and 4x. Okay, so on both, so when you switch to the 4x, you still get a really big field of view, which is nice. So yeah, both flip covers on here, and this side, this is the front, and this does have the anti-reflection device, the honeycomb. I'm not personally a huge fan. I mean, obviously they serve a purpose, but with such beautiful clear glass, I kind of want to see the glass without the honeycomb effect. But you can take it off if you wish. Simply just unscrew it, and then if you want to put it back on, just simply screw it back on. Very simple. Okay, so this is the battery compartment with the levels of illumination here. There's 5 levels of illumination, and the tool here, as it says, ATI battery cap tool. Just grip that, and then you obviously use this because you don't want to. Most of us don't want to scuff up the optic, but I mean, realistically, this thing is designed for battle, so I mean, whatever. You could use a screwdriver or a shell casing or something like that. That would work just fine. So you can see there. It is submersible. It is obviously, it's got the O-rings on here, and it is submersible down to 66 feet for 2 hours. So if you want to go scuba diving with it, you can. Okay. Moving forward here, this is the lever here for the 1 and 4, and it is that simple to switch between the 1x and the 4x. And if you own an LPVO, and I've owned many LPVOs, I don't typically, for me, I usually go from 1x to max X if I'm like 1 and 4 or 1 and 6. That's typically the range I use it. And some of you might say, well, I do use it, and that's fine. But typically, I think for most of us, we go either 1x or all out, right? Just the way it is. Down here is the mounting system. This is for the elevation. There is a particular way to do this. I'll show you in just a little bit here. Moving along here, and you can see it's marked here 1x to 4x. Obviously that's 1x and that is the 4x. But moving along here, this is for windage and elevation. It isn't exposed to the elements, but I feel like this is a proven battle optic. It obviously hasn't caused any issues. Even Trigicon MROs have the exposed turret kind of thing, where you can adjust. So it doesn't bother me in the slightest personally. Now, to make adjustments to the elevation, if you come on this side where it has the QD mount part, at the back here you'll see the dial. And again, it might be really hard to see this on camera, but there's a piece in here, and you'll be able to see it. It's very distinct. And you want to take a flat-headed screwdriver and you just want to push that up, and it's like a locking mechanism. So once you take that up, it allows you to actually move this dial and sight in the elevation. When you're done, take your flat-headed screwdriver, and then just push that back down, and it locks it straight back into place. this optic is not something that you're going to be making adjustments all the time and figuring out your long distance shots. It's not what this is for. It's set it and leave it. Okay, so just flathead screwdriver, push up, turn the dial to get your elevation where you want it, and then push it back down, locks into place. Very, very simple. And then let's have a look here with the window vision elevation. The windage, excuse me. We'll see what the clicks are like. Oh, they're very tactile. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but they are audible too. Very tactile and very audible. Very nice. All right. Okay, let's move on. Let's have a look at the other side here. Obviously, it's got the Spectre logo here. This is the arms mount. A lot of people have complained about these mounts for the reason because they're not adjustable, right? You cannot adjust these. There's no way to tighten it down. So if your upper is out of spec, if it's not mil spec exactly, then people have had issues with these locking in place, and they don't have kind of a, you know, sometimes when you get the QDs, you know, you'll close it and it'll click and it'll have like a lock. There is no lock on this, but I don't know how well you can see this on camera, but there is like a kind of a hook hole, I don't know what you want to call it. You can put a zip tie through that and then clamp the lever to the mount or to the optic, right? So you can clamp it so it's not going to come off. It's not ideal, I don't think. I think for kind of an optic at this price point, that they should have something a little better than that solution. In actual fact, there is another solution. You can upgrade it to the Mark II arms mount, which is adjustable. And we had actually, I did purchase the arms II in case I decided to change them. So they are here. And so how these work is there's a little kind of a pin, it's not quite a pin, but you take that out and it removes it. You can change the tension or whatever, and then you screw that back in to lock in place just like that. And you can take these off by a simple roll pin, and then you can put these other levers on if you wish. Not a necessity, but if you do want to upgrade, there is an option for you. And that has been mentioned as one of the cons in the past. Also, you'll notice down here, you can probably see these springs. Now this optic is designed for really, really rough usage. So if it gets knocked around and if it moves, it's going to go back in place. It's not something to worry about. If this is on your rifle and whatever reason you whack it so hard and you see it move, that's designed to take the impact and then put it back to where it belongs, and your POI should not shift. So yeah, so it's a really cool system designed for an absolute beating. Okay, on the top here, you do have backup sights, just here. So if you're, for whatever reason, you need to look through that, for backup sights you can. It's kind of nice that they have them on here, and so it kind of negates the point of having like M-bus sight or something like that, but some people have seen these come off, so it's up to you if you want to keep your backup sights down on the rail also. I probably would just because I've already got it on there. Okay, so let's talk about let's have a look, some of the eye relief. Let's talk about the eye relief and the glass clarity. The glass clarity is super nice glass. I've played with a lot of high-end optics, and this is definitely a very high-end glass. Absolutely zero complaints about the glass. I mean, none at all. Very nice. The eye relief is a little shorter. It is not a red dot, so it doesn't have the unlimited eye relief. The eye relief on this is 2.75 inches, and so it's still pretty decent. It's definitely for. So, obviously the other battle optic you're talking about is maybe an ACOG, and the most common popular ACOG is the 4X, and that eye relief is 1.5 inches. So you're talking about just over another inch on top of that. So the eye relief's nice, not great, but nice. It does have a kind of an unforgiving eye box. I noticed with playing with this that if you need to be careful with that. If you get off a little too much, you'll get that scope shadow pretty quickly. The overall length is 7.25 inches. If you're looking into dimensions, it's 7.25 inches, and it comes in at 20 to 21 ounces with a mount. Now, another downside, people will say, not me, but people will say, man, this thing is heavy. It's built like a tank, but it's really heavy. It does seem like it's built like a tank, but it's really not that heavy compared to a 1-in-4 LPVO. And I pulled some numbers for the Steiner P4XI. I love that scope. The glass is excellent. Very, very nice LPVO. I pulled that, and I pulled the numbers for a mount. Let me just pull up the numbers here because I don't remember off the top of my head. So the P4XI comes in at 17.3 ounces without a mount. If you add a QD mount to compare it to, so it's fair because this is a QD mount. I put in a Midwest Industries QD mount at 8.4 ounces. It comes out at 25.7 ounces. So obviously this is lighter than an LPVO 1-in-4. And then I actually pulled a number for an Aero lightweight, which is not QD, but I wanted to prove a point. That comes in at 6.9 ounces, which obviously comes out to 24.2 ounces with the scope. So when people complain this is too heavy, I disagree because, when you compare it to an LPVO 1-in-4, and this is a 1-in-4, this is lighter. And I guarantee this is more durable than any LPVO out there. Bold statement, but there you go. I can't see, LPVOs have came a long way and they're great for what they are, but I definitely feel like this would obviously beat it hands down, and it should do for the price, right? You can pick up a Steiner for about $600 and a mount for a couple $100. You're talking $800. This is twice the amount. Actually, just over twice the amount. I picked this up off of Optic Planet with a 10% discount code. I think shipped it was like $16.50. So they're not cheap, and that is, a definitely downside for some people. It is not an inexpensive optic. It is very, very expensive. Is it worth it for you? I don't know. That's kind of up to you. People will say, well, you really don't need this unless, you're going to beat the crap out of it in a war zone, all that kind of stuff. But, and I get that. For me, I really like high-end optics. This is going to go on my CZ Bren 2 MS carbine, which is my go-to rifle. Now, if you take off these caps, just so you heads up, the length of this is actually 6 inches with the caps off. So it's a little bit shorter. Okay, so pros, built like a tank, etch reticle. The etch reticle really draws my eye to it also, even without the red dot on. And I've used etch reticles before, but this one I feel like definitely draws my eye better than any other reticle that I've personally used. The battery life on this with a CR2032 battery is 600 hours to 3,000 hours, depending on what level you have it at. Again, some people will say that is a downside because it's not like an aim point and has, 50, 60,000 hour life. As long as you remember to switch this off when you're done, even if you don't, for me, it's like in the daylight, I don't even know if you would need the red dot on with this. Obviously, low light and whatever else you're going to want the red dot illuminated. So where were we? So cons, there's price, I would say, possibly battery life, but again, I like that etch reticle. The what are cons? The price, and I think I've kind of negated the weight argument. I feel like that's been, I'm like, no, that it's not really an argument anymore. So yeah, for pros, absolutely amazing optic, built like a tank, a military proven, extremely clear glass. X reticle is awesome. Yeah, it's just a very, very, very nice optic. And again, it should be for the price. So let's, we can't really get away from that price, right? It's a very expensive optic. But there you go. I think I've covered everything. If you guys have any questions, any comments, please ask them below. I'm always happy to help out if I can. And if you haven't liked my Twitter channel, please do so, @PrepperJunkie. On there I post deals on guns, optics, ammo, all that kind of stuff. Any daily deals that I'll find, I post them up there. Generally every day I'll post something. And then, like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you guys a thing, but it really, really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. And that's it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.